money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. I'm always right.
What is going on, believers? Guys, I hope everybody's having a good morning. My name is Believes. This is Breakfast with Believes. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified of new content. Make sure that you're part of the believers. And let's get on with it because we witnessed a dump in the overnights. For those of you that don't know, 3 a.m. hit and 3 a.m. Knocked it out of the park. They took Bitcoin from 22,000 all the way down to 21,000 in just a few short hours. Because, I don't know, but we're starting to experience a little bit of a recovery. It's starting to turn around a little bit. The numbers still don't look great, but there is a big improvement, and there's some reasons for it. We're going to look at it real quick. You can see right here that the curve has already started, so we're probably going to witness Bitcoin start to rise up. But you can see here we're still trading above the 48, which means that we're still in a buy zone. We're still in good shape. But you can see that the 9 and the 13 have kind of crossed over, and that usually is a big sell signal as they merge together. We're hoping to get this blue line right here back over where we are. And the reason I think for a lot of positivity is going to be the U.S. jobs report. Now, if you look at this one, you're seeing a little more bleeding on Ethereum, by the way. As is custom, the change over here is 1% for Bitcoin, 2% for Ethereum. So Ethereum is basically doubling up the volatility at this point, which is why you can see the divergence a lot better on the Ethereum chain. However, when you start to break it down into the 3-minute, then you're going to have some nervous sentiment right here because you're under the 48 right now, which means that you're probably going to contract a little bit. But you can see right here for about 15 minutes now, we've had little green. We've had green popping up from 1204 up to about 1211 right now. So there is some positivity happening, and we're starting to see it manifest. We're going to see how this plays out. Now, the jobs report came out a few hours ago, or an hour ago. Payroll increased 372,000 jobs in June, more than expected as the job market defies recession fears. Now, there's two parts to this that seem to be kind of important right now, which is why you're not seeing a full-on pump yet. We are at 9 a.m. in the Eastern Coast, so we should start to see some sort of pump if this is making people feel good. However, remember on Wednesday, we've still got the CPI report, but 372 topped the 250,000 estimate. Now, remember, I said yesterday that over 300,000 jobs probably doesn't look like a great sign to the market. So we're going to see how they digest it over the course of the day and if this starts to make a big move. Average hourly earnings increased 5.1% from a year ago, a touch faster than estimates. Now, average earnings going up 5% is a big deal because if you look at the year over years, in the Obama years, you didn't see a whole lot of that. You didn't see a whole lot of increase in average hourly. You started to see that happening in the Trump years, and you're seeing it continue in the Biden years. So wages are continuing to increase. They're not keeping up with inflation. Obviously, if we're looking at 5.1% versus a 9% inflation, we're not keeping up with it at this moment. But it does look like we probably will continue to see a good pump out of the jobs market. So education and health services led job creation, followed by professional and business services, and leisure and hospitality. Now, there was one piece of information here that I don't think that anybody's going to start to use as their reason for selling, but it says here, the unemployment rate was 3.6%, unchanged from May and in line with the estimates. An alternate measure of unemployment that includes discouraged workers and those holding part-time jobs for economic reasons fell sharply, dropping to 6.7% from 7.1%. Now, that sounds good because that means that the discouraged workers and those holding part-time jobs has declined dramatically. But you got to know that in our partisan world, in our partisan economy, with partisan politics playing a huge role in directing what people think, if you go over here and you look up, let's say, jobs report June, and you start to look at what people are saying on Twitter, you can see here, Heather Long says, incredible news from the job report. The number of persons employed part-time for economic reasons declined by 707,000 to 3.6 million in June and is below its February 2020 level of 4.4 million. A great one. If you want a full-time job, you can get a full-time job. The Bureau of Labor Statistics obviously is going to say something good. This guy right here says, I'm not saying the economy doesn't have serious challenges. I just have a hard time calling a recession with 3.6 unemployment rate. But then as you keep going along, another huge jobs report. This is Brian Tyler Cohen. For those of you that don't know, he is the owner of Occupy Democrats. And that's a very partisan, sort of news source. So take that with a grain of salt, right? Better than expected jobs in June. U.S. added 372,000 in the economy. This is making people feel good. It's making people feel good. And it might have fallen off here because she sounded like an idiot. Yeah, so it sucks. So there was one on here that said, I can't believe we lost 300,000 part-time jobs. What is Joe Biden doing? And I kid you not, that was because we live in a partisan world where somebody's trying to parse information and find anything and turn it into a negative. So it's just kind of crazy to see this thing sort of play itself out. Although, look at this right here. The economy adds 3,750 100,000 jobs in June. This number has been making me laugh all morning long. Economy added 3,750 100,000 jobs in June. So there's obviously a job for an editor at the Washington Post. So if you guys want to apply there, then maybe that would be a good place to start because they apparently need it bad. But anyway, the jobs report looks really good so far. You can look here. The wage numbers probably keep the Federal Reserve on track for a rate increase aimed at controlling inflation. Fed officials have indicated a 75 BPS rate hike is likely in their July meeting. By sector, education and health services led job creation with 96,000 hires, while professional and business services added 74,000 positions, hospitality 67, healthcare 57, and transportation and warehousing 36. Now, transportation and warehousing, just so you guys understand, that's a very big deal, and that's a very important deal right now because some of the pieces that are not adding up for this economy right now is our ability to transport things. Now, you look at UPS, you look at FedEx, they've done a bang-up job, but transportation and warehousing is where oil is being moved and shipped. That's part of our infrastructure, and to add 36,000 jobs there is a great sign that we are, first of all, I'm sure that we're in a recession. The numbers are going to bear out that we are in a recession, but it looks like the recovery is coming, and hopefully it will be coming quicker than we even realize. So by the time we get the jobs report, which is coming out a month later, maybe we'll start feeling a little more positive just because it's already baked into the number, quote unquote. So maybe that's going to feel pretty good. But I think everybody, if you would, just take a moment and recognize the former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was assassinated at a campaign event last night. And they've caught the person, but obviously his family, our hearts go out to his family. It's a tragic time. For those of you who know, Shinzo Abe was the leader of Japan for many, many years, and he was running another campaign for local government, and it's a tragic set of circumstances. So our hearts go out to Shinzo Abe and his family today. Now, let's go back to the business of crypto and get off of that morbid thing. Could the rising dollar instigate a Bitcoin recovery? Now, for those of you that don't know, and for those of you that were looking on Monday, you would have seen the euro. Remember, we talked about this. The euro to dollar ratio went way down, and that caused the euro and the European companies and the European investors to start selling off, and we had a big dip. And that was one of those dips. It was because of that number. I think it was Sunday night. Sunday night. So they've traded sideways and down again today. They've traded sideways since then. But now, remember, our favorite author, Lavina Daryanani, now says everything's awesome. Remember, everything was horrible yesterday. Everything was horrible the day before. Everything's awesome again today. The macro conditions continue to be choppy, and as a result, Bitcoin and other cryptos are finding it challenging to pull off a sustainable run. Even in such an environment, however, the greenbacks have been thriving. Despite the economic pessimism in the Eurozone, Fed Reserve remains hawkish and the yield curve inverting. USD bulls have been able to uphold the value of the dollar. In fact, post crossing the 107 threshold earlier this week, the US dollar index began trading at a 2-decade high. That is a huge number. Now, again, say what you want about politics, but we did for a couple years there have a really good run on value for the US dollar. And now we are starting to see this thing absolutely moon. Now, one of the reasons that we're seeing this, by the way, just full disclosure so that everybody understands why this number is such a big thing. This number is such a big thing because the markets in crypto are way down, because the United States has pulled out its risk assets. Riskier assets drive the prices down. What drives the price of the dollar up, or the value, I should say, of the dollar, is less risk-averse investment. So what you're seeing now is you're seeing that $2.1 trillion that's been pulled out of the crypto market being put into bonds and higher yields. They're a safer investment. That creates a stronger dollar because you're not losing. You don't have a lot of risk involved. So that being the case, and when they pulled the money out of the stock market as well, remember there's 37,000 at the stock market's all-time high, and we're down to about 31.3 right now. So all of that money pulled out was put into bonds and yield and yield items, and that is much safer, and that creates a stronger dollar. So it's almost a no-win scenario. So when you see the strong dollar, it's a positive sign, but also then you know that your risk that your risk assets like cryptocurrency, like stocks, lower yielding stocks, the riskier assets are not being propped up. So we're going to see that dollar start to drop. When we see the threshold of the dollar start to drop again, then here's what we're going to know. We're going to know money's coming back to crypto. That's the way that this works. A strengthening U.S. dollar implies that it can buy more of a foreign currency than before. Basically, the purchasing power of the U.S. dollar is rising at this stage. So with the ability to buy more using the same limited amount, investors usually get triggered to allocate their funds towards various instruments to earn additional yields. So what are investors up to at this stage? Well, to answer that question, let's peek at the money supply dynamics. The DXY rising obliquely implies that the M1 is marching on the same path. Simply put, M1 includes liquid cash and currency in circulation alongside demand deposit, and travelers' checks also fall in this category. M2, on the other hand, has been treading in a different chalked out path. M2 money basically takes into account all elements of M1, along with savings, deposits, money markets, certificates of deposit, and other deposits. M2's fall to a fair extent hints that people are not diverting their funds toward deposits and other money market instruments. The same might end up being a blessing in disguise for Bitcoin. So what she's saying is that we're probably going to see a correction to that pretty soon. The stronger dollar might end up causing these people to pull their money out. Remember, this has gone into a more stable asset. Now they're going to pull it out of this more stable asset. They're going to move it back into risky investment. Supporting the aforesaid speculation was the macro decline in the stablecoin supply ratio. The SSR, on its part, gauges the ratio of Bitcoin market cap relative to the cumulative market cap on all stablecoins. Low reading tends to indicate a high stablecoin supply. The same, in essence, indicates that there's dry powder lying on the sidelines for investors to divert towards Bitcoin. So if the decline continues further, the buying pressure would potentially rise. In retrospect, going forward, it could lead to a price rise for Bitcoin and instigate its recovery. Now, we're still looking over here at the charts, and we're not seeing the movement, so we're not seeing exactly what they're talking about right now playing out. We're not going to see that until we needed a few more moments for this jobs report to get digested. There are a lot of analysts right now picking it apart, trying to find the good, trying to find the bad, trying to find the ugly, and figure out what is really going on. But we got a buy candle on the 3-minute. On the 15-minute, we're still on a sell. On the 1 hour, we're still on a sell. So we're not going to make any moves here. I'm not going to make any moves until I start to see a divergence, by the way, to get this 48 moved upwards. So it might be about 2 or 3 hours before we're really ready to ape back into anything. We just want to see how the market plays out. Now, everything could change on a dime, by the way. Just remember that, because you could start to see this thing just start to eat up and turn green at a moment's notice when we get on a run. So we'll see what happens. But the path ahead wouldn't be clear-cut for Bitcoin, with inflationary concerns mounting up and employment numbers still looking unhealthy. Really? Investors might play the slow game to strike a balance. Now, remember, we just had one of the better job reports that we've had in a long time. And she said, employment numbers still looking unhealthy. And we go over here. How much will the U.S.-Japan economic woes affect your crypto portfolio? That's not a job report. That's not an unemployment. That's, this is lazy. I should quit picking on this woman. Here's how Shiba Inu is building a holistic empire. Also the same person. Like, they are really going to the well. During the initial days, Shiba Inu was mocked for being launched as a rival meme coin to Dogecoin, with time and delivery consistent. Even though Dogecoin continues to remain the captain of the meme coin ship, it's lost its luster as of late. On the other hand, so currently Shiba Inu's layer 2 solution, Shibarium, is in the works and is expected to make its debut in third quarter of 2022. Quite recently, the Shiba Inu developer confirmed that everything was on track without revealing a launch date for the public beta. But they did say that it was going to be in the third quarter of 2022. So that was when it was going to hit the Propston testnet, I believe it was. Parallelly, a group of developers has submitted a version of Shiba Inu's native stablecoin, SHI. Same intends to combat the issues found in other algorithmic stablecoin projects. This is why I'm telling you to avoid, and I'm not telling you that this is not a good product. I'm not telling you that there's a problem with Shiba. I'm telling you that there's a problem with using an algorithmic stablecoin. People are targeting those right now. And what better way to take down a token than something like Shiba? People are dying to prove Shiba can't handle it with the big dogs. This is a perfect opportunity for a big company with unlimited resources to come in and short this thing, and it wouldn't cost them near as much as it did to do it to UST and Terra Luna. So you have to be very careful and recognize that this is incredibly. Look, if she is a penny, and it's going to be stable at a penny, that just means there's going to be a lot of she. It doesn't change any of the algorithm. So that also means that in order for them to do it in the same way, then they're going to have to be able to mint Shiba Inu and increase supply rather than diminish supply. So I'm not liking this so far until I see like a white paper that really kind of explains how it's going to work. I would be very nervous, and we'll obviously see it before it launches. But on the surface, I'm nervous about any algorithmic stable project. So the developer has also been quietly designing a brand new reward token called Treat, which we talked about a couple days. Treat's use case would not be limited to Shibarium alone. It would also be used to provide balance to Shi as well. So that's probably where the stable coin is tied in. So the Treat coin, the Treat token, is going to be part of this ecosystem, and it's probably going to be the one that's tied to the Shi in order to keep them paired together. So I don't know. We'll see. Now, the one thing that I would say is this: factoring in all the launches and the sub-projects being developed, it's become quite evident that Shiba Inu is building a holistic, self-sustainable empire for itself. But there's a lot of tokens in this thing, What is going on? No name. Thank you for the $10 bomb. Yes, we did. As a matter of fact, if anybody hasn't seen it, go to Boxa Estate, and you can see right here. Now, they did stop their partnership with Viva TV Group. Yesterday, I made an announcement for them that that this site was looking really good, and they were also partnered with the Viva TV. They decided not to do the Viva TV partnership because they didn't think they were going to make any money off of it, that it wasn't going to move the token, that they didn't think that it was going to, like using Boxa token was going to be incredibly difficult on your TV. So they didn't feel like whatever, they weren't ready for what it was that they were going to do. And then it turns out that Viva, I think, wanted to add in like a bunch of different, it just wasn't worth doing. So you can see here, the website has been completely redesigned. Boxa Estate will combine crypto technology with real estate sector through real estate tokenization, investment, building, and managing Boxa's holders hub. Now, by the way, for those of you that don't remember, we won't go over this right now because we don't have the time for it, but what we do have is the leadership here is a fully doxed group of people, and as you can go through here, you can find out that these guys are all stock market investors, and they are all serious people. You can look up their bios, you can look up their LinkedIn. They are not difficult people to find. So if you are interested in a real estate token, then this might be one for you to check out. Now back to what we were talking about. So I'm nervous about so many tokens because if I've got this right, we've got Shiba, which is now becoming less and less part of that ecosystem. It feels like on the surface. But we go from Shiba Inu to Bone, to Leash, to She, and now to Treat. So now we have 5 tokens in that ecosystem. Here we go. Playside Studios, who is making Shiba Inu and Beans Dumb Ways to Die game, just launched their 3D NFT viewer called Exo Viewer. Okay, so we're going to check that out a little bit. Actually, we're going to do that right now. Age of Darkness. Okay. All right. Well, I don't see it yet, so maybe we'll look for that later because it looks like it's going to be a pain in the ass for me to find. But there's a lot of they have a lot of IPs, so we'll look for that a little bit later on. Let's see if we got any kind of report here. We got no update so far, so I agree with you, Lorenzo. It's getting a little bit odd that there's so many different tokens. Like it, if you want to build an entire ecosystem, that's fine. Like I'm not opposed to anybody having an entire ecosystem. That's perfectly fine. But it just feels like it doesn't feel like something that I want to be invested in, because it feels like at some point something that I'm going to invest in is going to be taken away as a priority. So it makes me a little bit nervous. So we have the pre-market here real quick. Let me get a refresh on it. It was up. It was down 88 points just a little while ago. It's back to 41 right now. So it looks like maybe it's in the white paper. Oh, okay. Yeah. So the Dow futures are down 41 right now, which is basically dead even. That's not a huge variance. So, I don't think we have a problem yet, but we do have, we're still got dip to go here on Ethereum, which did pop down here. You can see right here, this is the bounce line right here at 1203. It did bounce to 1198 2 hours ago, and it then, of course, corrected itself right back upwards because that represented its line of support. The next line comes down here to about 1171. Let's hope that we can get down there. I don't feel good about buying in at 1200 right now. I don't want to spend 2 weeks waiting again. All right, so it's down to 32. So in the pre-market trading, we're probably going to see a pump by the time this thing launches. So that's the way that it's looking like. Let's also go over here and just kind of randomly check out here. Here's how Shiba Inu is doing on Robinhood. This is an interesting thing here. Time and again, Shiba Inu has proved to be stronger than ever. However, the list of Shiba on the prominent platform trading form was definitely a significant landmark. With this, eligible users, blah, 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 blah. Shiba Inu social media game is truly impeccable. The significant amount of following that the network has given other popular cryptos a run for its money, their fervor, and is reflected in its holder count as well. Throughout the bear market, Shiba holder count has been on an uptrend. Now, as its price witnesses respite, the number of unique addresses was once again shot up. At present, the holder count of Shiba was at a high of 1.196 million. In addition to this, Shiba was trading at 0.001111. All right, so okay. Okay, this looks like an article my child would write. Here's how Shiba Inu is doing on Robinhood, and there's no data. I mean, I guess it's just doing good. God damn it, I hate this stuff sometimes. How about this one right here? Will North Korea emerge as a hub for crypto hackers? Now, we've been seeing this happening over and over again, that North Korea has started to become something of a hacker haven. Scams and hacks have been part of the crypto community for the longest time. While some hacks have been plainly to steal, others were doing it to remind networks of their vulnerabilities. Hackers usually work stealthily and alone. However, a country might harbor an alleged army of hackers. Over the years, there's been multiple theories about the life in North Korea or the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. While some suggest the country's citizens have been living in poverty, a few others believe it is a highly unsafe country. Reports about how citizens need to seek permission to travel, get haircuts, and even dress the way they like have surfaced. One more thing that North Korea specializes in is hacking. The world has witnessed an array of hacks over the years across different industries, and North Korea is often mentioned in them. The country has been running a government-backed hacking network called Lazarus Group. The group is speculated to have hacked Sony Pictures following the release of the movie Interview, which we do remember did happen. So it looks like, here we go, what the hacker hacks have in common, and this is coming from Lazarus, they tend to target bridges in crypto. They tend to focus on companies based in Asia because of language, maybe. Most of the exploits start with social engineering by targeting unsuspecting employees and getting them to open a file. It was also brought to light that these hackers work like 16-hour shifts. Starting from 6 in the morning, the hackers were reportedly sent to countries like Russia and China for special training in cyber warfare. Furthermore, even with the involvement of the FBI and other national security agencies, charging these hackers would be nearly impossible. Garnering stolen funds is undoubtedly out of the picture. Therefore, it's hacks like these from a government-backed platform keep prevailing, the cryptoverse could be in serious trouble. So it's absolutely bonkers that North Korea is out here just hacking away. And listen, when you cut off people from the rest of the world, it does have an effect. It may not always be the effect that you want it to have, but it does have an effect. Something happens. And what they've chosen to do is basically fight back. And I don't like the way that they're fighting back, but they are fighting back. And, I guess they're just going to keep hacking away until they take off with a whole bunch of crypto. So I guess we'll find out soon. But you've seen a lot of volatility, by the way. I've been seeing this has been a very volatile last 2 hours. You can see this. There's gigantic candles here. This is a big fight that's going on right now. And I want to say that it looks like we're hitting these bottoms here and they're turning around. So maybe we're about to see some upside at a guess, but it's still a little bit early. And when you start to see this, you can see that that's when it happens, is when you start to get like, especially this little spot right here where you can just see like the bottoms are hitting. The next candle, if it mints and it's a little bit higher, then that means we're on a correction phase. So, I mean, we'll see how this goes. But man, I feel like as soon as we get to a certain spot, I think we're going to spike again. It looks like the same thing over here. It really looks like we've gone down here and now we're turning it back around. We're minting a higher low. Even if it is a red candle, we minted a higher low on it. So that volatility kind of calmed down for whatever this sell-off was and whatever the reason for this. It started to move back to the upside. So maybe we'll see a good sort of move pretty soon. You can look here. We're on a sell on the 15-minute, and on the 3-minute, we're probably on a sell too. Yeah, we're on a sell too on the 3-minute, and on the 1 day, we're still on a big buy because we've just had. This has been a good run of days. Like we're at day 6 right now. If we get another up day like this, then that's going to be 7 straight days. We had 6 out of 7 over here before we had that dip back down. But we're starting to see. Maybe there's a little bit of correction starting to happen. The lows again have turned a corner. If I zoom this out and do the same thing, then the lows have become a little bit lower. So maybe it's a signal that we're moving back towards the upside. And I mean, I guess at this point, we're all just kind of looking for a reason for things to be turning around, because we all want to see this whole thing just start to moon and just get sent. That's what we're looking for, right? So 31,384, 31,314. So we ended up down 70 on this pre-market. That gave us at 42. So they're digesting the report right now. So we're going to have just a little bit of time before we really know how this market's going to run or what it's going to look like. But I guess we're just going to have to give a little patience to it and see what goes on. Let's go look over here and see where everybody's trading this morning. Goat's up 18.9%. Shift is up 7.9%. Phantom 2.7%. SHIB 2.2%. Terra 1%. Volt 0.4%. Hex down a little bit, and WAGMI also down a little bit. Over here across the top, let's take a quick look at Cult, because Cult, by the way, is going to come on for a special. One of their guys is going to come in and have a discussion about Cult. They broke that 14. Remember yesterday, I was critical of the fact that they had not broken that 14 for a sustained period of time. Now this is the 4-hour chart. You can see here that they've had a nice run and finally broke through that resistance. Took themselves up to about 1,700 and dipped back down, but it didn't stay below that line. So that 1,400 is an important line for them. So maybe this is a sign that there is a reversal for them. Now they were listed on KuCoin, by the way, yesterday. So if you're attributing anything to this run up, it was that they got listed on KuCoin, which took them from 1,000 up to 1,700. So it's a 70% increase. Fell down to about 33% overall over the course of the week, but it was sideways trading for most of the time. 24-hour totals up 13%. So they got something going on. And I did see that people were playing a lot. They were doing a lot of playing around with Saitama, because there's a bunch of Saitama clones that just launched. So on Saitama, it's trading at 31.22. Nothing. That's nothing to write home about. It's just still kind of trending where it has been trending. It is moving upwards. You can see kind of a slight upward movement. So the bottom here, this bottom here was 28. This bottom here was 28. This bottom here was 28. This bottom was 28.80. This bottom was 28.80. And we haven't seen the bottom over here. So we don't know if it's going to continue to move towards the upside. But they now have 117,000 holders. So in a month, they've been able to transfer 1/3 of their total holders, I guess. And the market cap is sitting at 298 million. I mean, that's not nothing. So they are continuing to show, at least whether you like them or not, they're continuing to show that there's an interest in holding that product. So I don't know these other ones. Bone. Let's see what Bone is up to. So from July 3rd, Bone is up 7 cents, which is a pretty good run. But when you go back over here to that downside, if you got in over here in Bone, then you're probably feeling really good about your position right about now. Yeah, I got to think that you're feeling pretty good. Also, WAGMI Games, we're getting closer and closer to that beta release. Should be any day now. Let's go take a look at BTFA and see how BTFA is trending. $51.62. That's up. You're again, same thing. You're kind of seeing it's forming higher lows down here from July 1st, June 30th. It was at 45 as a low. Then it moved up here and it tested 46 for a little bit. Then it came up here, basically 48 right now. Looks like it reversed here at 5,000. So maybe it's just testing higher lows, and maybe that means it's going to start moving upwards. You can probably convince yourself that this is forming something of a flag pattern or an upward. You can definitely see an upward momentum in the chart just by looking at where the bottoms are on it. So you can see that it is moving upwards, and it does look like the volatility might be increasing just a little bit, not a significant amount. So, maybe we're going to see something happen here pretty soon. Bandex. And by the way, I'm still staked. I'm staked almost for $1 billion Bandex for 6 months. So I don't care if they do anything for the next 6 months or not. But they're at $12.99, which is a pretty good run. So, yeah, I mean, you like to see what do you want to see, a 10 million market cap, something like that. And I remember, I think it was 180%. So I get a 90% bump. So I'm basically doubling the value of my holding. So at the end of this, a billion tokens is worth $1,299, and I'll have 1.9 billion. So it'll be worth almost double. So you can't argue with that, right? Definitely a pretty good number. All right, there we go. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that they're going to have a big run. Like, I think everybody's going to have a big run. That's that's the way I feel about the entire market. Like, I think that we're all just going to get sent. I mean, like most times, by the way, in our market, when crypto turns and we start to get a pump on Ethereum, and we can get Ethereum back up into that 3,000 level, then all of these tokens will have doubled in price. So wherever you are right now, like for example, in all of these holdings, like I'm sitting at like 33,000, right? So if it doubles, it doubles to 66,000. All I need is for people who are invested to stay invested, and for Ethereum to get back up to the 3,000, 3,600 level. And if it does that, then all of this stuff is worth double. So, that'll be a good thing. I do have a small amount of SHIB. I got 30 million SHIB, so I don't have a lot. So I don't really care with that, how that happens. But I mean, Phantom doubles in price, and it does so in 6 months, and I get my rewards during that period of time. Then that absolutely means to me that I've made my money back plus some. So that would be a pretty cool thing. All right, now So it looks like we're starting to get just a little bit of a pump. We'll see if it maintains itself. We're still down and in the red right now on these changes and in these charts. So I probably going to sit on the sidelines for any of this. So let's get into chat. What's going on? Ulysses, Crypto B, Forsaken, Anthony, what's happening? Cody Core, what's going on? Striker, Captain's Channel, what's happening? What's up, Farm? What's up, Diggy? Susanna, good morning. Bobby Basehead, what's happening? Corey LeBlanc, what's going on? You can buy the bloody dip. You will be rich if you do. Okay, so let's go take a look at MMF Finance. You're going to make me rich. Why not? Well, this says 22 holders or 12 holders, so I disagree. There's got to be more to it than that. What's going on, Eric C? What's up, Jay? Crypto Life, what's happening? Juice in the house, what's going on? Hitoshi, what's happening? Lorenzo, what's going on? Teddy P, it's in the what? Jocelyn, what's happening? Chris Johnson, what's going on? Joe, what's going on? Oh, there you go, man. Look at that. It just happened for you. All right, so Ethereum's on a pump again. From 1198 up to 1218. So it looks like maybe we're having a little bit of a reversal, and hopefully this thing will start to catch a little bit of fire in the next little while. Again, I want to see a buy tag minted before I get back into anything. Kronos Network, there we go. All right. Is it Mad Meerkat Finance? Is it Mad Meerkat Finance? All right, Finance has the largest ecosystem on Kronos with its DEX, Yield Optimizer, NFT, Algo Stablecoin, and DTF. DTF? Okay. All right, ecosystem. It's got a robust system. All right, I am, man. Total value locked, circulating market cap, circulating supply. All right, so what's the deal here? You just buy it and hold it? Why is this in such a... Why is this chart such a pain in the ass to read? That's going from the thousands. Like, Jesus Christ. All right, I can't bring myself to scroll in enough to do that. But, I mean, if you guys say so, then yes. Yeah, so... Yeah, I believe that Volt, or not Volt, I believe WAGMI is supposed to be having a good one. All right, let me do Hulk real quick here, and then we'll do the muscle one. 19% increase. Let's change this back to hours. And son of a bitch. Get that on the screen there. And all right. Where are we at here? Here we go. Let's do this one because this has been on my screen now, and I don't feel comfortable with a Marvel product. That's a Marvel product, by the way. Sony, whatever. You know, like they just did this shit with Strange. Okay, here it is right here. At least 95% of liquidity burned and locked. 39%, 60% in Unicrypt until 8/9/2022, right here. So they launched this thing. This is the same as Strange Inu. Don't touch this shit. Ownership is not renounced, and it's only for 30 days. Now, in 30 days, what they're going to tell you is that they're moving over to a version 2 of the contract, something like that. And no, we've already seen this before. Fuck that. All right, here we go with Muscle Bull. All right, so it's retraced 40% from the launch. 88,000 market cap. So what's Muscle Bull doing? Joe, the Strange Inu team was very responsive too. They were very active. They were very they were going out. They were doing all kinds of stuff to make it happen, and it ended up being a rug pull. And it was 30 days. That was it. They said they were moving over to a version 2, and then they rug pulled it and deleted everything. I would not recommend that one. All right, Muscle Bull has a rating of 0. Here we go. Wallet exceeds the circulating total supply, likely a scam. And our bubble map shows all right, so that looks like there's a dead wallet. There's a bunch of it in the dead wallet, but it looks like this deployer gave a lot of tokens to at least one address. That address shared with this address. So the deployer gave out, this is probably a pre-sale, maybe something like that. But like man, dude, I would be so nervous with this thing. Source does not contain a fee modifier. Ownership is not renounced. There's all these tokens are sitting. That could be that it's the dead wallet. Like maybe there's something weird on it. It's a dead wallet or something. But look at this. There's holders that have huge supply. I would be real nervous about this one, DJ. If you got a profit on it, I would take that profit and get out because this looks this is about as sketchy as it gets. Just on the surface. There may be nothing wrong with it. It might just be being misread or something like that. Token sniffer's not perfect in anything, so but man, it looks pretty scary right there. And yeah, Ponzi was into war pigs. Like I don't mind. Is that Ethereum or what? Is it war pigs 2 words? he likes these guys. So I don't think that's right, though. I think it's all one word, right? I don't know where it is, but for real, if Ponzi's in it, then I know that it's at least safe. It's not sketchy. You know what I mean? And yeah, Ponzi shills just like any other guys. But I mean, he does due diligence, and he only likes certain things that he is absolutely sure of. And when he doesn't like something, he will come out and tell you right away, "I'm out of this thing," and I'm telling you exactly why. I mean, if nothing else, like I don't like the fact that he attacks and spends a lot of time attacking people. But people attack him, so But if he's in it, then it's at least an honest project. And if he stays in it, then you'll know that it's an honest project. And I think him and Old Man Dave really liked what they saw on War Pigs, wherever the actual War Pigs is, because I obviously can't find it here. Hey, Siegel, what's going on, man? Appreciate the $5 bomb, $10 bomb. This is a comfortable project. Don't forget to check out Boxa. Yeah, guys. We can do that one more time. Remember Boxa State? As a matter of fact, guys, this has been around for a little bit of time. When you go back and you look at the chart, then this for a long time was just on its way up. I don't want to get sidetracked by anything, but it's on the hour right now. But if you go back to the day chart, I originally did a video on this a while back, and like it was up for the longest of times. Like you can see here on this chart, like it started off pretty well, bumped, like 10x. Then it retraced about 80% along with the market. I mean, this is from May all the way to now, and then it retraced back to 2506, and now it's up. What's that? 33% in about a week right now. So, I would feel pretty good about it. The liquidity on this one was locked for a long time. There was a partnership with Viva TV. They didn't like the partnership with Viva TV, so they exited that strategy and decided not to go with it. And then now they've kind of pivoted. But all of these guys, by the way, are fully doxed and are stock traders and investors. So these guys were branching out into crypto, and they were trying to be innovative in what they're doing, and they've turned Boxa into the main goal was to create a cryptocurrency with real-life utility where it can not only be used as an investment asset, but also provide every holder access to a variety of perks and benefits. When traveling, you can book a hotel room or an apartment, or eat at a restaurant, et cetera, et cetera. So these guys are trying to be very careful about how they choose their partnerships. And one of them is combining crypto technology with real estate sector through real estate tokenizations, investments, building, and managing Boxa holders' hub properties around the world. So, it's kind of a cool idea to have. It looks like a real estate investment management sort of company. Like, that's a pretty nice opportunity and a pretty nice deal. So, it would not hurt. It definitely. I don't think it ends badly. Put it that way. I don't think it ends badly if you make an investment in these guys, because I think that they're a serious group of men that are all about business and about making something fly. So, starting to see a little bit more sell-off happening here. We have now moved under the 48 moving at the 48 EMA. So we're settling a little bit above at 1199, but if we move underneath this 48, that means that we probably have some dip to go, because this is what happens when you move, when you're up and you move across that, then this usually signals that you are going to go down, 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 down. So We get rid of that now. So I would say that there's going to be some retracement in this market right now. Now, it could, by the way, stop on a dime and continue to move on. Anything's possible. Anything's possible when you're investing. But we've seen every indicator that you have right now on the hour says get out. Every indicator on the 15 says get out. Everything on the 30 says get out. Like, it's even worse on the 30. It's telling you to get out. 4 hour is probably going to mint a red sell ticket in just a little while. It's still over on the 4 hour, so there's still time for it to recover. And we're not swing or day trading or anything. Oh, there we go, War Pig token. So as for Ethereum, I mean, we're gonna have to play it by ear. Like, I'm gonna wait for the hour to mint me a buy candle. Like, I'm gonna wait this out and see what happens. And the 48 EMA has got to get back under. Like, these candles have got to be going upwards. So ET. Is it WPT investing? Now, see, that's 24 cents. Like, this would make all right. So we're gonna do War Pigs. There we go. Yeah, so it's a WPT investing. So we're in the right place now. It was down 24% in the 24 hour, but I mean, it looks like it had a nice little run to start off with. Where are we at? 1.8 up to 2.4. So that's 6. That's 1.8. So it ran up 30% on the first day. 2.4 million market cap. So that's a pretty good start. But again, like I said before, like, Ponzi doesn't play around. I mean, he gets, look, and Ponzi's been gamed before. He'll even admit it on some of his streams. Like, when you see the conversations that he has, like, he'll admit, like, some of these people are just not genuine. Like, they feel genuine when you're talking to them the first time. But then I think he was having a problem with somebody just recently where he's just like, they were working real hard and then they stopped working real hard. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but that was his opinion. That was what he felt, and he got out, and then drama unfolded. I don't know what the drama is. So there's always a little bit of drama. You know what I mean? It's Ponzi. There's always a little bit of drama. And it usually ends up with, well, you want to fight? You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, Ponzi does Ponzi. So, but I mean, the fact that Ponzi's in this means to me that this has got at least the potential of a 10, 15, 20 million run. You know what I mean? And he usually picks good ones, and he picks people who are serious people. And once you start going through this, you're probably going to end up liking it. Because, if him and Dave both did, then you probably, matter of fact, God damn it, I'm going to take time now and read. Shit. All right, guys, that's my 9 o'clock bell. That is my time. So it is time for me to get out of here and get my ass to work. This is not financial advice. My name is Bleaves. I'm always right. You guys be very careful in trading right now. Ethereum is continuing to dip. Watch your candles. Make sure that you're not getting wrecked. The jobs report looks pretty good. So this might be just a little fake out before we start pumping again. Be careful, and we'll talk to you again soon for bedtime.